Thank you again so much for tuning in to the Eric Lee Brown Show. Financial freedom is yours. Today I have a special segment for you. I'm going to share with you some of the best advice my father ever gave me to walk in financial freedom. These 3 simple principles has completely changed my life. And I know today, as you apply these principles to your life, they're going to change your life as well. Welcome to the Eric Lee Brown Show. Financial freedom is yours, where we teach financial literacy to ensure financial freedom. Today's broadcast has been brought to you by our corporate sponsors, Reverse Financial Dilemmas. Thank you again. Thank you again for taking out the time to watch our show today. Listen, the first thing I want you to know about me is that my greatest desire is to see you succeed. So I know you're wondering out there, okay, what is this advice that your father gave you to walk in financial freedom? I'm so glad you're wondering, and I'm so glad you're thinking about it, because these 3 principles will shift your life and change your life forever. So let's go with the first principle. The first principle that my father gave me, I know you're looking at the screen, you probably already peeked, is to give to God first. So every dollar that you earn, make sure you give a percentage over to God. And then the second principle is to always give to yourself second. You know, a lot of people are talking about pay yourself first. That won't get you anywhere. But if you pay God first, I'm going to show you where that will get you. And then the third and final principle is to make sure you're giving to others. So I know you might be thinking, okay, what is going to happen if I give to God? The first thing that is going to happen as you look up here at the screen is that God is going to give back to you. And how does God give back to you? He opens up doors and brings people into your life. He might provide you with a job that you didn't have before from giving to him first. What's the second thing God is going to do? God is going to give you power to get wealth. When you're obedient to God, what that does is that God empowers you to go further and beyond. You are able to go yourself. And what's the third key to when you give to God? The third key is what? God protects your money. That is phenomenal. That is awesome. So he's not going to allow you to be broke. He's not going to allow you to go into poverty. Now, the second key, or the second principle, I should say, is give to yourself. What's the biggest thing about this key? The biggest thing is that your broke days will be over. You will never say I'm broke another day in your life, because as long as you're giving to yourself, guess what? You will always have. Now let's go to this final and third principle, which is to give to others. Now listen, when you give to others, what you do, you create a channel for others to give to you. I'm telling you that if you don't open up your hand to give, nothing will come into your hand and nothing will go out of your hand. So it's so important to give. Now, in my new book, Dream Again, listen, I reveal not only these principles, but I also reveal 8 keys to financial freedom that will take you to places financially that you never dreamed of. Listen, what you can do right now, you can pre-order this book by going to my website at ericleebrown.com. Or you can sign up for a free financial seminar and you can get this book for free if you sign up for the VIP passes. But listen, my friends, don't go anywhere, because when we come back, I'm going to replay some of our previous episodes so that you can say goodbye to poverty and hello to wealth. See you soon. Detroit, the Dream Again revolution has begun. 8 Keys to Financial Freedom seminar. Come hear 8 dynamic, wealthy speakers. Thank you again so much for tuning back in. Listen, right now I have a surprise for you. I want to replay some of our earlier shows, and I want to start off with my buddy Frank. Frank is a real estate investor, and I want you guys, if you have the time, please get out a sheet of paper and a pen so that you can take down notes so that you can begin to apply this, especially if you're interested in investing in real estate. So take a few moments to check out this clip. For somebody that's out there that's just starting in real estate investing, they believe God has called them to it. What are 3 things off the top of your head that you would kind of tell them in order to get them off to a good start?
Well, we're talking about real estate, so I would say the very first thing you should do is find a real estate agent. get to know that person and pick their brain. You have to understand that human nature is such that if you're talking to someone about something that they know about, they like talking about it.
Absolutely.
They don't mind doing it. So why not pick that real estate agent's brain, because they have information about the market, they have information about the houses that are selling, the houses that are not selling. So pick that person's brain. Take them out to lunch, take them out to dinner.
Absolutely.
They become a friend. And they know right off the top that if you become an investor, they can make money off of you.
Absolutely.
So it's a reciprocal relationship. So definitely the first thing you want to do is get to know an agent, or if not an investor.
Yes.
Okay. So number 2, pay off all unnecessary debt. I mean, that is so critical. I can't stress that enough. For whatever reason, people through their lust for other things and they want different things just because it's the end thing today. Well, the end thing today is not going to be in tomorrow. So you'll find yourself wasting a lot of money. So I would say to people, pay off all that unnecessary debt. Number 3, know your credit score. If you're going to have some real estate acquisitions, you're going to have either money or credit. And there are some other ways that you can do it, but I won't get into that right now. But for the beginner who's just starting off, you definitely want to have good credit and you want to have some money. If you don't have one, you definitely got to have the other. And it makes no sense for anyone to have a poor credit score. If you buy something on credit, make sure it's something that you can afford to pay for. If you can't afford to pay for it, do without it.
Let's get this straight. So you were on a cop salary and you bought your first home. And you bought your first house for $24,000.
That's correct.
And you turned around and sold your first house for $65,000. Man, that's
4 years.
$40,000 profit. You know, that is amazing. That's more than some teachers are getting paid today. So tell me about that. How did that come to pass?
Yeah, it was a process. It took about 6 years. I paid the house off in 4 years.
Wow.
And the reason I paid it off in 4 years was because not that I planned on doing it, but I got my bank statement one day. When I would get paid by the police department, I would take my money, pay my bills, and put the rest in the savings account, because I didn't buy a lot of stuff. I've never been that type of guy to get a lot of stuff, just wasting my money. But one day I'm looking at my banking statement and I'm seeing that I have X amount of money in my savings account. And the interest rate that I was getting for the money was so tiny that it was shocking to me, because I looked at my mortgage statement and I saw that I was paying compounded interest, and brother, that compounded interest was pounding me. So I said, wait a minute, it doesn't make sense for me to put my money in the savings account where I'm getting no interest, just about no interest, and I'm paying a lot of interest in the mortgage note. So at some point in time while I was living at the house, I decided I was going to triple my house note. So I just started paying about $1,000 a month on the house. Lo and behold, in 4 years, it was paid off.
That's absolutely amazing. You know, Albert Einstein talked about the person who understood how to use compound interest and the person who didn't. He called it the eighth wonder of the world. So that's amazing how you were able to, you know, change that compound interest from working against you to start working. Okay, as you can see, Frank's best advice that he gave on the show was basically you need somebody that is an investor or a real estate agent before you even consider getting into the game. And for me, from personal experience, I love to invest in homes. I want to give you 5 quick keys when you're going to look at houses. So the first key is definitely you want to look at the location. The location is primary. And then the second key, when you get up to the house, the first thing you should be looking at is the roof. Make sure these are some of the biggest expenses that you can have. So make sure the roof looks good on the house. And then the third thing you want to look at is the foundation of the house. Make sure there's no cracks or anything in the foundations of the house. Now, when you go in the house, make sure there's no holes in the floor. No, just joking. When you go in the house, it's up to you. Maybe you want to fix it up. It's up to you on that. But the primary things when you go into the house, you want to look at the furnace. You want to make sure that that furnace is up and running. If it's not, you got to understand that that's going to be a large cost for you. And then the fifth thing that I ran into trouble with recently was the sewer line. You could get somebody to come out there and look at the sewer line for less than $200, but these are costs that can that can climb to $10,000 to $20,000. So those are 5 quick things I want you to check out, as well as asbestos. There's some older houses that have asbestos still in them that you want to make sure that your house doesn't have that if you're believing on investing, and make sure your house doesn't have really heavy mold. Some mold is easy to get away from. So now that you have that quick information, I hope you're writing down these nuggets. I want to take a look at my guy, Randy, the guy that took his idea from an idea to a consumer from a concept. So stay tuned in. Let's take a look at Randy. Tell us, how did you take your one idea and bring it to life?
You got to find yourself a good patent and trademark attorney.
Okay.
And that's what we begin to seek. And again, as we said, when you put stuff out there in faith, the Lord will send you the right person.
Absolutely.
So I'm here right at the moment when I realized that this patent thing isn't quite working out.
Yeah.
I'm at my office, at my desk in my office, and all of a sudden this lady comes in and says, I want to open an account. And I said, okay, well, you know, what kind of account? Or, you know, a business account. Wonderful. Okay, what are you? You know, what do you do?
Yeah.
I'm an attorney. Okay, great. Well, what kind of attorney are you? I'm a patent and trademark attorney.
Wow.
Say again.
You stop. Stop. Hey, can I talk to you at lunch?
Right, exactly. So, I mean, literally, that was the case. I mean, beads of sweat are dropping off my head like, I want to break rank, want to stop being a banker, be an entrepreneur right now. So I get through everything with her, but then we end up talking.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm telling you, she really opened up the door to understanding really what you have to do to legally protect. You know, things like confidentiality agreements, stuff like that, to make sure that your idea doesn't get away with you. So, you know, step one, there's some free things that you can do online. You know, go on that website that I mentioned, and you can do a free general search.
Okay.
To see if your idea is already out there. But if you really want to do the detailed search, you got to get you a good trademark and patent attorney that you trust.
Wow.
And you know, I trust ours. You know, all day long. And ours is a talker. Find you an attorney that likes to talk. Because what happens is you ask them one question and then just be quiet. And once they get to talking, and I know she'll probably see this, you know, I say this in love, but I mean, she just talks and talks and talks, and I'm sitting there like, thank you, Jesus, because this is stuff, I mean, you can't pay, which you can pay for this stuff, and I'm not happy to. You know, of course, you pay for the service.
Yes.
But when everything is said and done, man, I tell you, she really set us down the right path. And we're so much more wiser for the wear. And then we can help other people in settings like this and help them know what it is that they need to do to be able to protect their idea.
Yes. So listen, before we wrap the show up, I want you to really just look at our viewers and just let them know, encourage them, because a lot of people out there don't believe that they can do what you have done. And you have let us know that, listen, you didn't have a background in game shows and board games, but you had faith. And your faith propelled you to where God has you at right now. So look at our viewers and talk to them and encourage them and let them know, hey, if Randy did it, you're able to do it as well with your idea.
The Bible says, like I said, in our game we have the Bible versus church folk. This is the Bible, y'all.
Yes.
All things.
Yes.
And you have to hear me when I say this, every single word, because it's not me, it's the word. All things are possible to them that believe.
Yes.
You have to believe. You have to believe several things. You have to believe that what you have, your idea, I don't care if 1.7 billion people are doing it. If God gave it to you, you will be successful.
Yes.
Yes, there are other people that do games. Yes, there's Milton Bradley. We've talked to them. Yes, there's Hasbro. We have talked to them. Yes, we have wonderful creations, but guess what? Nobody can do what we can do because God called us to do it.
Yes.
You have to believe in God. I have to put that out there. The Bible says that we can do all things through Christ that strengthens us.
That's good.
I don't want success if it's not through Christ.
That's good.
The Bible says that the blessings of the Lord maketh rich and addeth no sorrow. What that says is there are some blessings out there that are not from the Lord that make rich and add sorrow.
Yes.
I don't want those.
I don't want those.
I want the blessings from the Lord.
Yes.
You know, so you have to believe that you can do it. You have to believe that you can do all things through Christ. And then you have to believe in yourself.
That's good.
You have to believe that you are made of tough stuff.
Yes.
You have to believe that when you get up every morning, that in spite of how other people see you, you have to see you for the you that God made you to be.
Absolutely.
And I believe these things from the bottom of my heart.
Yes.
And the last thing I would just have to say, and it's not Bible, I'm sorry, this is actually just everybody, folk.
Yes.
But I tell myself this every single morning because this is the main thing the enemy tries to stop you from doing. Because faith without works is dead. It's 3 powerful words. Just do it.
Now, as you can see, Randy's best advice on my show was to make sure that you get a good Trademark attorney. And don't forget to get one that talks a lot. No offense. And so listen, and Randy also shared with us something that was awesome. He said that he doesn't want the kind of riches that comes with sorrow. We know that in the Word of God, God promised us riches without sorrow. So please take that advice. And remember what I said at the beginning of the show. As long as you give it to God first, he will direct your path. He will take care of you. So now let's go to another break. And when we come back, I'm going to share with you what my buddy Joe had to say, as well as Ezra, who got rid of his Bentley in less than 4 months.
Welcome to Mad Creative Media, where we bring your vision to life. Imagine if your dreams had wings and could fly, but without boundaries. This is what you would have.
You self-employed, really you don't own the system. The system owns you.
System owns you. Yeah.
And you don't want to do that.
Absolutely.
You know, so that was one of the reasons why I knew that starting a system was the best way to go.
So that's phenomenal. So tell us, you know, I know a lot of people are out there and they're self-employed. So tell them, what's the first step in starting out a system? What did you start at? Like, just tell us the beginning and how long did it actually take you as far as with your operations manual and things like that?
One of the things that I remember is as a truck driver, I used to stay in different hotels, and I'll do the job in the morning, I'll be in a hotel, and I have all this free time on my hand. So what I did in my part-time of driving trucks, I do my job in the morning, I would go to the hotel and I'll start working on my operations manual.
Wow.
And it took me over 4 years to finish it.
4 years?
4 years.
Just to finish the operation.
Just to finish the operation.
That's amazing. So what you're saying is you were working and you were working on your business at the same time.
There you go.
So you're letting our viewers know that you don't necessarily have to quit tomorrow. You can start working on your plan today. I hope you guys are listening. So go ahead. So what happened after that?
The good thing about that is as I began to work on my company part-time, but minding somebody else's business full-time, I began to shift out of the full-time and started going into my company full-time and started doing the other stuff part-time. So I switched it around. And that's the key to building your system. Once you build a good system, what it does, it gives you confidence. And confidence is just like going to college, didn't agree. That's what you're going to college for, because while you have the knowledge and the confidence to go approach somebody and say, listen, this is what I bring to the table. And with a system, you can go to any corporation, you can say, listen, this is what my company brings to the table.
Absolutely.
And that's the power
Tell us, like,
of having
as far
systems.
as how a system, you have a system in your company for somebody to answer the phone, or you have a system if somebody robs the place. You know, tell us a little bit about, just give us about 3 or 4 small systems so people can understand exactly what we're talking about.
One of the greatest systems that's on the planet today is McDonald's. You walk into McDonald's and say, hello, welcome to McDonald's, can I take your order? That is a universal system greeting.
So basically what you're saying, if you go to McDonald's anywhere in the world, that cashier is going to say, hello, welcome to McDonald's. I know because I managed the McDonald's before, but go ahead.
That is a universal greeting. And so when you call Top Notch Moving Solutions, it's going, hi, thank you for calling Top Notch Solutions. How can I help you today? That's a greeting right there.
That's awesome.
And that seems like it's simple. But every time that phone answered, it will answer the same way.
Yeah.
Thank you for calling Top Notch Moving Solutions. How can I help you?
That is phenomenal. One thing I loved about Joe's interview was that he did not wait to start working on his business and his vision. He knew where he wanted to go, and guess what he did, ladies and gentlemen? He started immediately, and it took him 4 years to set up his operations manual so that his company could be where it is today. So why am I sharing this with you? I'm sharing this with you that if you're out there and you're minding somebody else's business, my friends, it's time to start minding your own business. On your time off or on your time when you get off work, make sure you start writing out where you want to see yourself 1 year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, and you will be glad that you did. I'm telling you today. So listen, now let's take a look at Ezra as we wrap the show up, and let's see some of his money-making secrets. Share with us a few money-making secrets that you came across while you were on your way to wealth.
So look, most importantly, one of the things that we're not taught in school, and there's a reason for that, we won't go into that, is how to manage our money.
Yeah.
No matter what the amount is.
Absolutely.
You know? So we have a tendency to pay everybody else first.
Yeah.
And we don't pay ourselves first. And
yeah,
it's
that's
absolutely
good.
necessary that you teach your children, and we have a responsibility to teach this.
Yeah.
Savings, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so initially I was very foolish with money. Mm-hmm. And when you're not a good steward of money, you're going to lose it. So what I've discovered is it's important to maintain a good credit. Is very important, very, very important. You may not ever use it, but it's almost like another stash of money if needed.
Wow.
Just be responsible. And so my first encounter with, actually, I wouldn't say investment. Yeah. Because I've invested in a lot of things that didn't bring me anything. You understand there's good and bad debt. Yeah. Create bad debt, create good debt that produces income. A residual income. Mine was, I own some buildings that we won't get into. Yeah. You just learn. It's a process.
With us, so look at this. This is a black-on-black Continental GT. Oh, they don't make them like this no more.
No, they actually look a lot nicer.
So Ezra, tell us, why did you actually get rid of this car in less than 4 months after you bought it?
I guess you'd have to kind of go into my mind into, more importantly, why I bought the car in the first place.
Yeah, that's good.
And you buy something like this, and you buy it kind of reactionary to what you think it represents to you. Yeah. And the truth is, when I bought the car, what I didn't realize is why I bought the car.
Yeah, that's good.
And I bought the car because everybody else likes Bentleys.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm saying
everybody else.
Well, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
Like when you buy something like this. Yeah. Why do you buy it? Do you buy it because you like to look at them? Yeah. And if you like to look at them, don't buy them. Just go to the parking lot and look at them. Or do you buy them because there's people sitting outside of the car who see you from outside, and you're concerned with your ego and what that represents, what you look like. But you do that in movement, right? So you stop at a light, and this is what happened. I was at school crafting Evergreen, and I stopped at a light, and I happened to look over, and it was right after I had the car, maybe 2 days. Yeah. It was 4 people looking at me. Wow. Right? And that's when I discovered that this car attracts attention. Yeah. And I wasn't really crazy about the interior. The steering wheel was kind of big for me. And I just really, the way it sat, the seats were kind of a bit bulky. Yeah. Now the car's a rocket ship. Yeah. And that's what I like, performance, but that's a big body car. So I started thinking, like, I really didn't buy this car for me. Wow. Right? And I don't like the attention. And then what I realized is that this car started becoming my identity. Wow. And when I stepped away from that car, I felt like I was less than the person I was in the car. So I felt like I needed that Bentley to make me who I was. Wow. And I was like, no, yeah. No. So very quickly, I didn't want the attention. Yeah. And I realized that I was letting a material object make me who I wasn't, right? Yeah. But I felt like I needed that to prove to the world that I had done something with myself substantial. Yeah. And that's what people think. They see that. But yeah. Don't buy material things thinking you're gonna fill a hole. It doesn't work. So I got telling me about how you go about meditating. Do you still do that on a regular? Absolutely. And can you share with us how you go about meditation that has really helped you evolve as a person and caused you to really conquer not only yourself but in terms of your companies and different things that you do now? Okay, so first of all, you have to have a clear understanding what meditation is. It's not to focus on any one thing. It's the absence of thought.
Yeah.
So it's purging your mind, and and that too, learning that is a process.
Yeah.
And when you learn to concentrate your thoughts on, in order to do this, you have to concentrate on one thing, because to empty your mind completely means that your mind's not working, and your mind is always working.
Yeah.
But when you do that, it's kind of a relaxation of your brain.
Absolutely.
Right? And it creates an ability in you to be more and more creative. Mm-hmm. And that will help you make better decisions.
Absolutely.
Those decisions will come to you a lot easier.
Yeah.
And you can just focus on things a lot better when you rest your mind. So every morning, you have an hour of power, man.
Yeah.
Where you wake up first thing in the morning and your mind is at its most receptive. You have that first hour. So you don't want to wake up grabbing your phone, looking at Facebook, watching people fight, or you don't want to wake up and turn the news on. That's not what you want to do. You want to suck into your brain at that time of the morning how you want the course of your day to go, right? So put something very positive in your brain.
Yes.
Meditation is, it's hard to meditate for 15 minutes. It truly is. You have to work up to 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But just sit very quietly and absorb. And you have to do things in order. And when you do things in order and you ask that your steps be guided, you want to be guided in a specific direction. So, empty your brain for the first 15 minutes and then focus on what it is you want for your life, either for that day, for that week, for that year, however you want to do it, whatever it is at that time. So this is what I do. Today, I focused on this.
Awesome. We have to come to a place that when we understand that if we chase after our purpose, provision is going to be there for us. What do you think about that?
Absolutely. If you want fulfillment, you have to do the things that you're here to do. And I would venture to say that if you ask 99% of the people in this world what it is their purpose is, they can't tell you.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So if you truly want to attain some sense of internal satisfaction, you have to determine what your purpose is. The only way you can do that is to go inside yourself and say, what am I here for?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And the way that feels is perfect.
Yeah.
When you realize what your purpose is, you'll understand that you're not doing it anymore for anything outside of what that's providing you right there in that space.
Yeah.
Everything else is just going to cling to it.
Yeah.
So when you do something out here in the world, it's in your purpose, the money will actually come to you like a magnet.
Absolutely.
Happiness will come to you like a magnet. Your family will become, the order of your family comes in place. When you find your purpose, it really solves a whole lot of issues. You have to have contrast in order to appreciate your purpose, right?
Absolutely.
So you have to have the adversity. You have to have the struggle. You can't appreciate darkness without light. It doesn't exist.
That's
it's
good.
Darkness or light. So you have to have those things. And when you get in your purpose, man, this my purpose. I found my purpose. I really found my purpose. I'm not kidding.
Okay.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Now, I know you notice how Ezra emphasized how important it is for you to find your purpose. And it's like once you find your purpose, he stated, everything else is going to take care of itself. So I want you guys to be clear of one thing. Without your purpose, you don't have purpose. So you guys, again, I want to thank you so much for tuning in to the Eric Lee Brown Show. Stay tuned in next week. I have a special guest for you. Be blessed. Remember that your best days are ahead of you. Financial freedom is yours. Believe it, receive it, and walk in it. Now come on. Now come on. Come on. Watch this. Out of what idea? This is what happened. Are you seeing what I'm seeing today? I'm loving this.
Take 5.
Take 5. Boom, boom, boom. Everything. All the equipment falls.